Welcome back, YouTubers, to another WWE vlog in HD with me, the white shirt wearing Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me wearing the brown shirt. It's NJ.
What's up?
Yeah, nice one, NJ. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, of course. Like this video. Comment your thoughts on the Go Home show on Raw down below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the group box below.
We're the British Fist, NJ.
Good shit.
Of course. Right. Where do we start with this Raw review then, NJ? Get us started.
Well, we start off with Triple H coming out. Awesome start, 'cause obviously he's the one who's going to announce what's happening between now and SummerSlam. And basically he's talking about the event that's happening tonight as well as SummerSlam.
Yeah, he basically talks at the main event, talking about how he's going to be the official in the match. And although I kind of like this, I kind of wondered why Triple H is getting involved. It really does suggest to me some kind of heel turn by Triple H, maybe on Cena and Punk, setting up a Triple H Punk program down the road. I don't know. That's what I think.
Well, that's it. It's an important match because it's bringing the Undisputed title into the wrestling. So it makes sense that he's getting involved into this as big as this. And then we have...
I just don't like him getting involved. Me personally, I'd rather just see Punk and Cena go at it in a match. That's just me personally.
I think it's made the match a bit more interesting now because this could lead to anything now.
He also announces the main event, which is the contract signing, which we got as our main event. And he also announces that Cena and Punk will be in singles matches. So in all, it was a very quick segment. It talked up the main event at SummerSlam, which is what it should do on the Go Home show. Triple H announced another stipulation for the match, and we got an announcement of 2 matches for later tonight. So
we did.
Overall, on the your thoughts on it?
I think it's done its opening. It was a quick opening. It got to the point, and it was smoothly done, ready for the first match.
Yep, and the first match is, of course, John Cena versus, I picked it, didn't I?
Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger, there we go.
Well, to be honest, there's not really much other people he could face, and Jack Swagger, this match was kind of obvious because Jack Swagger's doing poorly over the last couple of weeks, months, years. So for him to face Jack Swagger, it was a basic match.
Yeah, basically, you saw in this match signs of what Cena may be doing in the Cena Punk match because you saw him practicing some of his more accomplished moves like drop kicks and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much, you've got the amateur-style wrestler in Swagger there, so it's good for him to practice that before he goes into SummerSlam, I do believe. And Cena wins a somewhat decent match, I do believe.
I wouldn't call it decent, I'd just call it basic, because that's what it really was, really.
Okay.
For Jack Swagger.
It makes Cena look stronger in his pay-per-view, so I guess it did its job. We saw a couple of new things from Cena, which we should see in that Punk match. Because it's going to be, let's face it, it's going to be hard for them to, get better than their matches at Money in the Bank. So they're going to have to do something different in this match, aren't they?
They will have to try, yeah.
Yeah, what do we have next then?
We had a promo with R-Truth.
Wah! And them spiders over there crawling over to me.
So the thing is, he was questioning a lot of what's happening in the WWE and what's happening to him. So it was kind of funny. It was funny announced that he was explaining about what's going on with him and the problems and that. And then the thing is, it didn't really accomplish anything. It was just R-Truth explaining what's going to happen later in the night with him and Morrison.
Wouldn't this have been a good chance for them to maybe announce the match at SummerSlam that they might be having, for example? I just thought one thing that we didn't get tonight was the announcement of matches. I do think this may have been an opportunity to maybe announce a match, make the promo a bit more, useful, I guess?
Maybe.
I don't know. What do we have next? Miz versus Ray. Go on, you start, NJ.
Okay, it was a bit of a... when you think of these two, you think they're good performers in the ring, so you're expected a kind of good match.
3 letters. PPV. Pay-per-view match. That's
maybe.
Me, personally.
But the thing is, the match didn't even take place, because as down comes Ray, and then Miz comes up from behind and smacks his head on the WWE side of the ramp and took him out.
All I will say, though, at least this is better than having them two go in a match and having one of them win clean. So at least it really does, to me, hype a possible pay-per-view match between the two. I do believe this will be a match that will happen simply because Miz and Ray are 2 very high superstars which WWE want on a pay-per-view, and this is a great excuse to put them together in a match. And I do feel it could be a good match as well, as we saw on Raw for the title a couple of weeks ago.
That is true, but when Miz gets into the ring after taking out Ray, he explains to Michael Cole that he hadn't got a match to go to SummerSlam. He gets all bothered about it, and then we get the announcement that he does have a replacement match against Kofi Kingston.
Yes. I was expecting someone else, but I got Kofi Kingston. It kind of makes sense, I guess, as Kofi Kingston isn't booked on the SummerSlam card yet, even though I feel he will be booked against Del Rio on the pay-per-view. Decent match. I thought this was a good TV match. It lasted 11 minutes. You kind of expect these two to have a good match, though, because they're 2 very good in-ring workers. So Your thoughts?
I think the match itself, it weren't the best, I don't think, because obviously it's got Kofi, who's not doing dramatically well in the WWE anymore, against someone who feels like he should be,
Yeah,
But the match itself, Miz gets the win, so it made sense for him to get the win.
Hopefully, Miz will be involved with the pay-per-view somehow, maybe against Ray. I just hope it. It does seem like they're going to go down that route from what I've seen tonight. Just it's not been announced officially yet, which is what I kind of wanted from tonight, which I didn't really get, which I didn't like. We then had a backstage interview with Punk talking about his SummerSlam match and Triple H as a special guest enforcer. You know, all the odds are stacked against him, kind of thing. It was quite interesting.
He did feel that, yeah.
Yep. And moving on quickly because he had a match next, didn't he? CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio. Now this is a match which I feel a lot of people wanted to see. But my question here is, when both these guys need pushes, you've got CM Punk as the champion, Del Rio is Money in the Bank winner. Why are they both facing each other? I know it's an interesting match, but I don't like the way they're both facing each other. Because they both need pushes. That's the thing.
The way I look at it, we've got Del Rio, who since
he's going to be the champion in October before we go to Mexico.
Since Royal Rumble, he's been expected to be this next step up to be a big main event wrestler, and he's not really been getting there. He's had knockback after knockback, and I'm thinking, he's having this big point. Now he's Money in the Bank winner. You're expecting him to look better leading on to between now until we cash it in. So putting him against Punk right before one of WWE's biggest pay-per-views weren't really the fairest idea to either Punk, because Punk got the win, but what does that do for Del Rio? So it's kind of unfair to him.
Well, to put a long story short, Del Rio pretty much jobs to Punk in about 5 minutes. I just expected so much better from this match. I don't see why couldn't they have had it end in a count out or something, just so Del Rio didn't get buried, isn't Del Rio booked for the pay-per-view? Shouldn't he be looking stronger in the pay-per-view? Why is he not booked for the pay-per-view yet? The Money in the Bank winner. Come on, this is
I think they're probably saving it until in case he cashes it in. It'd be interesting to see if he does.
I guess I don't know what they've got done for SummerSlam, which is one of the problems I have with the show. But I'll tell you my overall thoughts. I expected better from this match. I really did. It lasted nowhere near enough time.
No, but again, just like we had Cena win the first match, Punk was going to win his, so it was going to happen anyway.
Yep. And in the next segment, we got a bit of Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
You do it. You do it better, though. I don't know. You know how to do it. I don't. I have no idea how to do Beth Phoenix. That's another thing I might do for my Guess the Superstar thing. I don't know. Whatever. Beth Phoenix versus Eve Torres in a match which I kind of expected Beth Phoenix to squash Eve Torres in, but it actually went a bit longer than I expected. But I couldn't. This match was terrible. I think Eve was horrible in this match. Too many botches.
Well, the way I look at it is that I think the length of this match was okay, because I think they're trying to improve the Divas matches in somewhat way, because they're having Beth Phoenix get involved, they're having Natalia's thing on SmackDown. I think they're trying to improve this D division, so for this match to get some length, I think it's their way of showing that we're trying to improve matches, even if it weren't the best of matches.
Beth Phoenix got the win like she should have. Going into the pay-per-view, and she gets mic time as well, which is good because she pretty much blows away this whole Divas division, doesn't she? Saying about the model Divas and all that kind of shit, which I like because it really builds some kind of story going into a match with Kelly, I do believe, at SummerSlam.
Because the thing is, we've had week after Divas having matches, so for some of them to have announcements or some promo time or mic time, I think it was good. And Beth Phoenix, she's going to be the next, hopefully back to be the next big thing on Raw Diva-wise, I think it was good for her to do so. And
then Kelly attacks Beth Phoenix from behind. And this is one of those examples of hype for a pay-per-view match, and it shows how much better the hype can be when the match is already announced. Do you know what I mean? When the match is already announced, this makes more sense, and I did like this hype. They're at least giving some hype behind it. I do think this will be not the best of matches, but at least it's got some hype behind it.
Well, the thing is, I quite like the fact that Kelly came out, because basically we've had Beth Phoenix getting rid of her last week and hitting her and attacking her, and now we're having Kelly attack Beth Phoenix. It's
even itself out,
yeah.
Good overall, good Diva segment in my opinion.
I liked it.
Next we had a match which I thought would be getting at SummerSlam, but instead we got it on free TV. Alex Riley versus Dolph Ziggler, not for the US Championship though, I don't think. There wasn't really much to this match, was there? It just ended in a DQ when Vicky slapped A-Rai.
Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking, with some of these matches that we got on Raw, some of them needed to end in a different way than a clean finish. I'm saying with this particular match, this is not the match I would have had finishing in no DQ. The later matches do, but with this one, I guess it's left it open for anything to happen between these two.
All I can say is, at least this match didn't end clean going into their possible pay-per-view match, which is good, because I do want to see this match at the pay-per-view, and I do think if you had A-Rai or Ziggler being clean, it would have just ruined it, in my opinion, seeing it on free TV. And they teased this whole Ziggler-Vicky breakup as well, which kind of adds to that story there, whereas A-Rai did it last week.
It'll be interesting to see with Dolph Ziggler actually going on his own again. I look forward to seeing that.
He does need to do that if he's going to go into the main event scene, doesn't he? And I do feel he will get into that main event scene sooner rather than later, I do feel.
It looks like it.
Right. Next we get on to another match which I thought we was going to get at the fucking pay-per-view. R-Truth versus John Morrison. Why are these guys facing off on free TV? I just really assumed that with the build they got behind it, they would have announced a match by now and had hype going into the pay-per-view match. Instead, they're facing on free TV. I really don't understand.
My 2 problems with this match, if we look at it, is that we had R-Truth picking up the win at the end, which I'm thinking that's another loss for John Morrison, and R-Truth looking twice as strong than he did before.
Buried.
And the other thing is, this match did not end as a count out or anything like that. So it's like if they do a match at SummerSlam, as it's the week before or the week at SummerSlam, you're not expecting much to happen at SummerSlam now.
Yeah, I appreciate these are probably going to be booked on the pay-per-view, but why have them on free TV before they're probably going to have a match? It just makes the match a bit nullified on the pay-per-view. You're wondering why you're having to pay for this match when you could just see it on free TV, and you saw R-Truth pick up a clean victory. You know,
he did.
I just hate the fact they're burying Morrison at the moment.
Well, I think as R-Truth has made himself a new character, he's got to keep building on that, and John Morrison's only just returned. I know most returned people have to win their matches, but I guess they're trying to build on R-Truth's image more at the moment.
Image is a psychotic guy, eh?
He pretty much
who talks to invisible people and doesn't like spiders. Anyway, we also get an announcement that next week Rey Mysterio is going to get his rematch at the title, whether it be Cena or CM Punk. And my question here is, how come WWE can announce next week's Raw, but they can't announce any fucking matches for the SummerSlam? We've got 4 matches at the moment, and we really needed some more matches announced tonight. You can announce next week's Raw, but you can't announce SummerSlam matches. What's the logic with that?
I don't know, but again, Rey Mysterio's getting his rematch next week, so it's going to be either Rey Mysterio taking on the match against John Cena, so they'll have their rematch there, or against CM Punk, who's an ex-rival.
It's funny how we've seen them both in the last 2 months, those 2 matches.
That's true, but again, it'll be kind of good because Ray does deserve his rematch because he did get a bit poor booking when he lost his championship.
And we also got some SmackDown hype. Christian got an interview about 30 seconds and invited Triple H down to SmackDown and said he was in the Raw ring for that main event.
He did, but again, I'm thinking they're hyping up their last SmackDown for...
It needs to happen.
Yeah, so I think Christian getting involved, that little bit was okay. I don't think too much to say about it.
And then we have the main event contract signing. WWE seemingly steal a little bit of a tout there from TNA's playbook, having a contract signing on the Go show. Basically, we get Triple H coming out announcing there's going to be contracts, the contract signing. CM Punk comes out, and so does John Cena. CM Punk says, why are we even doing this? Why don't we just sign the match and go? And then they have this long, drawn-out sort of promo segment, wasn't it? Which I didn't mind. But why was there so much focus on The Rock? When you've got Cena and Punk at SummerSlam, why so much focus on The Rock?
I think it weren't mainly focused on their match. It was only just focused on what Rock said, so Punk could get his point across about Cena, so I'm fine with it. Because basically, it was Punk using Rock to get his point across about Cena.
I just didn't like the fact that Punk was bringing Rock in it so much. I just really think you need to focus on Punk and Cena. And there was a bit too much on Rock in my opinion. I don't know. The thing what he said was hilarious. The stuff what him and Rock were saying was hilarious. But Punk is always going to be great on the mic. He's always going to be able to give you them clever quiffs and stuff on the mic.
The thing is, as I've said before, when it got to Cena's turn, I kind of lost interest quickly because some of his points were kind of drawn out.
I really didn't lose interest that much. I thought the serious Cena I can actually buy into. It's the cheap, corny Cena I can't buy into. When he's being serious, I actually thought he was very good on the mic tonight. I really did. In response to CM Punk. I know you don't like it, but I'm just giving my opinion. Yeah. I did think he was pretty good on the mic, and he did sort of help CM Punk in a way. But CM Punk, as we know, is better than Cena on the mic. But it was good back and forth.
But eventually they got to what they said at the beginning. It turned to be a brawl. They moved out the chair, they moved out the table, they moved out the table, and then they started having a little push fight and everything.
When Punk started talking about releases to John Laurinaitis. Did you go to Florida to fire Vladimir Kozlov? Did you fire Chris Masters face to face when he's been working his ass off? So a little bit of sour grapes there, eh?
That's true. And the thing is, it ended up all contract signs were meant to end. They started attacking each other, and just after the long promo, it was going to happen because most of WWE's contract signings never end good, as Punk said at the beginning of the whole contract signing. Punk
attacks Laurinaitis accidentally, and then Triple H attacks. Cena attacks Triple H accidentally, and it's just like, wow, it's a little bit confusing, really. I don't know. I mean, I like this whole main event segment dragged on a little bit, but I did like it. At least it added hype to that main event, and it really did give it like the feel they weren't in an actual feud. Because before we haven't really had that feeling because they've been in the ring smiling together. But at least we see an actual feud going on between the two now. rather than it just being about Vince McMahon and the WWE title, blah, blah, blah.
And again, I'm going to say this again, we've had past Raws, and this Raw ended in a good way, I think.
Yeah. It always ends in a good way with CM Punk, eh? Guaranteed good ending.
True.
NJ, your overall thoughts on this show?
Okay, I go into Raw, every Raw, thinking that it's going to be a great show, because obviously I'm a WWE fan, and as Punk said, that he's going to make each Raw different, so I was kind of looking into that. But the matches themselves, the only one I could really say got me going was the maybe Miz and Bray, which turned into Miz and Kofi. The rest of the matches, again, some of those made me think, are we actually going to get this at SummerSlam or aren't we? Is it just going to be a Raw match instead of a SummerSlam match? So it's kind of got me thinking, where's the hype leading into SummerSlam? I don't know.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on. You know, how many matches did we get announced tonight? None. You know, last week we got a great teaser to what we're going to get, and I really did think this week's show would be really would be really pivotal to the matches that have been announced. They needed to announce some matches tonight, so I could really get my interest into SummerSlam. We've got none, and it's just, especially on the Go Home show, you kind of expect that, don't you? You kind of expect some matches announced, and we got a lot of matches I thought would be on the pay-per-view on Raw, and it's just like, why am I getting it on free TV? To me, it wasn't the best of Go Home show to me, just because we didn't get any matches announced and stuff. I'm giving this a C. It wasn't a bad show. It's just that as a Go Home show, I don't really think it's did its job very well at announcing matches. We've got 4 matches.
Well, the kind of thing I'm thinking is that maybe we're going to get, instead of matches at SummerSlam now, we're going to just got them on Raw, and I'm hoping that we get some of these. Like, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting Archie the Morrison at SummerSlam, because that is matches that I'm looking forward to see how Morrison does. Yeah. But like I said, it weren't the best awards for me, so I'm going to give it a C too.
It really begs to differ. What are we going to get on the SummerSlam card? We really need something. How are we going to look forward to something when we don't really have any matches pre-announced yet? Especially, this. We really need to get them announced now. I hope they get announced for SmackDown, or else, wow, is this pre-pay hype really won't be that good for me with no announced matches. Anything else you want to say before we move on to the outro section of our video?
That's it.
All right then. Okay, make sure you guys get your comments on Raw down below on a very eventful Raw, so to speak. We have been the British Fist. This guy sitting next to me, because I know you want to hear it, is NJ.
What's up?
And I've been Mr. Parkin. Thank you very much for watching our Raw review, and goodbye.